Hi, I'm Eric, and this is the Black Pepper Crew, a game about a group of bounty hunters. And what you're watching is the Dancing Monkeys level, which turned out pretty well. It has these NPC monkeys that end their turn they move randomly, changing the layout of the level every time. Majority of the people who played the demo said that this was their favorite one. After this level, we got to the boss room. And yes, this is the boss room. And in my defense, I decided to stick to my deadline to release the demo, and that's why this level is incomplete. I guess I gave priority to other stuff. Well, this is what this video is going to be about, as these past few weeks I've been working in the development and design of the boss rooms. So let's do this. First, I just want to summarize some of the minor tasks that I have been doing. I have fixed all the bugs that appeared on the demo release, but one, which is the ghost monkey bug. Precisely in the dancing monkey levels, sometimes when you knock out a monkey, it will still exist on the board. He will even move and it will impact the board, even though it is not visually there. That's a bug that I actually thought I had fixed before the demo release. I don't know, it feels like a ghost hunting me. Well, I decided to give it a break for a while. Maybe the ghost just gets bored and goes away. Well, it's let down to go through all the levels to reach the boss room for it to not be that interesting. Both bosses have very basic but important backstories. They are not fully developed yet, but the concept is there. For example, Flavius, this crime lord that comes from this kind of mafia mob, like the Godfather kind of Italian mafia or something like that. I did a lot of stuff in the background to sell that idea. I added some paintings showing previous leaders of the mob. I added objects for the player to be able to interact with. Nothing fancy for now, I think that's good enough. I still think I can improve that, but now it feels complete. Yeah, I think the level feels more real in a weird way because it has a background story around it. On the other hand, Leo's mission was actually complete in terms of background and level design, with the exception of the boss room, which was empty. The reason being is that when I created this mission, I didn't exactly knew how Leo was going to behave or what was his backstory. In the end, I decided for him to be this retired boxer. He worked with a group of criminals who made scams, and all the matches were sort of already planned, all that kind of stuff. So he went along with that, and he was able to have a successful career that was not that real because he sold himself. And that relates to the other character, which is Frank. Frank is the playable character that is a boxing frog, and his backstory is the opposite. He is a retired boxer whose career was sabotaged by these same people. The story is not completely fleshed out, but the concept is there, so I can work on the levels. And in Leo's mission, because he's a retired boxer, I thought it would be nice to make his level be a boxing arena. After creating the backgrounds and having a better idea of what this level was going to be, I decided to add objects to interact with. And I came up with this idea of having punching bags. Now, punching bags are interesting because they are hanging from the ceiling. And in my game, I have two kind of objects. Static objects, like this car and this fountain. Any player can understand that are heavy, so you cannot interact with them. You cannot move them. The only thing that happens with them is that you can bounce on them and receive extra damage if you are attacked, or you attacked with a knockback ability. And there are objects that you can interact with. These objects behave like any other character. The difference is that they don't have abilities, they don't have a turn, and they don't have HP, they cannot die, right? But because they have the same logic as the characters, they can behave like characters. That means that you can move them, you can switch your position with them, you can make combos with them, you can kick them, you can bounce characters into them, or bounce the object into characters and all that kind of stuff. So, the thing with the punching bags is that they are hanging from the ceiling and that complicated things. So the first thought I had is, well, let's just make them like they are on the floor. But to be honest, they were not that interesting when they're just lying there on the floor. There have to be punching bags hanging from the ceiling, right? I mean, that makes more sense. So I decided to hang them from the ceiling, but then I had all these questions related to the mechanics of this level. For example, well, what happens if I punch the object and with a knockback ability I cannot move the punching bag one square? So in the end I decided to make them behave just like regular objects, and that pushed me to make animations and create states for the object. That was kind of cumbersome task to do, but it left some good stuff because I actually have to do that for the enemy characters. Well, for all the characters I have to implement those states, so it turned out pretty well. Now I have the punching bag in the air. If it is attacked by characters that don't have knockback, it will just play an animation that make it move like it was hit. And then if you attack it with an attack that has knockback, it will fall from the ceiling into the floor, and then it will work just like a regular object. And that is basically what I've been doing these past few weeks. Next couple of weeks will be damage animations and knocked out animations and ability animations for all the characters, so I can wrap up this demo thing and then I can move to creating more characters and new missions. That's it for today's devlog. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!